From the office of the Tennessee Titans, a statement from the president of football operations, Chad Brinker. After extended conversations with our owner and general manager, we met with Brian Callahan to tell him we are making a change at head coach. These decisions are never easy, and they become more difficult when they involve people of great character. We are grateful for Brian's investment in the Titans and Tennessee community during his tenure as head coach. We thank him and his family for being exemplary ambassadors of the Tennessee Titans. But ambassador no longer. Callahan, who comes from a football family, who I thought actually could be the guy because of how great he was as a coordinator for the Bengals and Joe Burrow's upbringing, is now fired. And it's the level of incompetence he showed as the head coach in game management, in play calling. He literally, I believe it was week 1, didn't know the catch rule. And not the ambiguous catch rule, but like the fact that an elbow counts as 2 feet.
Sure does.
And for me to know that, and for him, this is how bad that was. And again, that breaking news brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. Brian Callahan officially fired 6 weeks into year 2 of his tenure with the Titans. This is how bad it was that Callahan didn't understand that rule. For people that don't know, Alec Ayumanner, the rookie wide receiver out of the 4th round for the Titans, made a catch, and he landed an elbow in bounds, but nothing else. It was ruled incomplete. Everybody is beckoning for Callahan to challenge it. This is also on a pivotal drive where if that catch was made, they likely get points out of it. Since the catch was not made, they end up having to punt. This was on a pivotal drive that needed the pickup by Ayumanner. After the game, Callahan actually addressed the media, and he said definitively at the podium that is not a catch because he got an elbow in bounds. And this is how bad it is, C-Cat. I knew the elbow rule. Did you know the elbow rule before that?
Yes, of course.
I think it's come up many a times before. So he was so definitive at the podium behind that mic post-game that I thought the rule changed. Because the catch rule is so ambiguous that I was like, oh, it was surely Brian Callahan, who comes from a football family. Who, for those that don't know, Brian Callahan, son of Bill Callahan. Yeah, rings a bell. Bill Callahan actually also the offensive line coach for the Titans right now. I wonder what happens with his job. I wonder who the interim is. We're still finding a lot of this out. This breaking news just happened 5 minutes before we started the show. But C-Cat, he said it so definitively as a football guy, as a head coach, that I believed him. And it reminds moments like those remind me every day, whereas we're all just human beings. We make our mistakes.
On ZipRecruiter, under job description of head coach of an NFL football team, I think bullet point number 1 as a prerequisite is knowing the rules of NFL football. Oh my God. That's got to be bare minimum. That's got to be your CDL as a truck driver. You got to have this. You got to pass the test.
The elbow in bounds rule is so fundamental to know. I would excuse something more crazy. And also, this is second year as a head coach, and he's an offensive guy.
This is not last night's Jared Goff touchdown being called back.
That was now last night's Goff one. I didn't know. I was waiting to hear from the rules analyst.
Yeah,
because I honestly, when it happened, I was like, "Yo, he can do that."
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, he can do that. I didn't know. I don't have the rule book in front of me. So as they were, talking about it, and the refs threw the flags a little late, and I know that there's Chiefs haters who are like, look at the NFL for ruling in favor of the Chiefs. It is kind of unfair if you're lining up under center and then within seconds you just run out wide and you're an eligible wide receiver. It's kind of crazy. So that rule is ambiguous. If you don't know that as a head coach, which Dan Campbell admitted he didn't, Jared Goff admitted he didn't, not a crazy scenario. It's a trick play.
Mm-hmm.
An elbow down in bounds, not a trick play.
Equals 2 feet.
It equals 2 feet. We know that for multiple reasons because, again, if you're a running back and you're toting the ball and an elbow hits down, guess what? You're down. If an elbow hits down, if you're toting the rock and you lose it and the fumble doesn't count because you're down, then wouldn't the same thing matter for the catch?
Mm-hmm.
So Brian Callahan not knowing that rule, Brian Callahan messing up a lot of different game management situations. There was the delay of game that pushed them back from a 57-yard field goal to a 62-yarder. These are game-changing mistakes from the offensive side of the ball and from the office of Brian Callahan. The Raiders win this weekend 20-10, and I'm not going to sit here and be a Cam Ward defender and say that this guy was perfect. I think he had a bad game. I think he had a horrendous game. But you know what side of the ball was actually good for the Titans? The defense. The defense, who was put in bad situation after bad situation and held up the Las Vegas Raiders in a way in which you can't continue to have to rely on them to do. The defense was good. The offense was bad. Cam Ward has seemed to regress and not even get better week by week by week. And now 6 weeks into the season, the Titans have dropped the hammer and have fired Brian Callahan. Congratulations to them. And you know the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that news, C-Cat?
What?
Who's next?
That's next? Right. The first domino has fallen.
Yes.
The Titans have decided we want to be open for business first. Whatever advantage we get from not having that guy as head coach for the remainder of this season, we want that.
Because there's a man whose job is under fire right now. There's a young lad who lives in the Miami Gardens area who is a great play caller, a nice schemer of offense. He also is not so bad at managing people as long as people know how to keep themselves in check. Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Miami Dolphins, likely the next guy to lose his job in the NFL right now. If you look at those weird betting markets where you can bet on people losing their job, those pocket watching markets, Mike McDaniel likely is the next guy up. And when I look at what the Miami Dolphins have been, and I look at how unaccountable Tua has been, and we're going to have the Tua conversation right here, right now on these radio airwaves, C-Cat, I would love to see Cam Ward be in a creative offense. I would love to see a guy like Mike McDaniel have his hands on an offense that is authored by Cam Ward. We always say we don't know exactly what Tua Tagovailoa is, but we do know what he isn't, and that's a guy like Cam Ward, who can sling the ball, who can manage a pocket a little bit better, who is sturdy, who is durable, who also gives confidence and preaches accountability on his players and on himself. He is a leader of men, Cam Ward, and we know that 6 games into a career where he's 1-5 and he's looked absolutely horrendous on the football field. And it's not like Mike McDaniel would have lived close enough to get a good eye on Cam Ward during his last season in football, would he have?
I think that his starting quarterback might share a locker with Cam Ward for part of his career.
Familiarity, you say. I'm not hoping for Mike McDaniel to lose his job in Miami, but I do think it's come to the point where it's run its course, and we're going to pivot and get into the Dolphins conversation. I got thrown off track here because of what Cam Ward means to this area, because of what Cam Ward is going to mean to the future of the NFL. And because of the fact that an NFL head coach just lost his job today. Brian Callahan on the outs. He went 3-14 in his first season. He was 1-5 so far this year. The Titans said enough. And C-Cat, do we have an interim coach yet? Do we have an announcement for an interim coach?
Haven't seen one quite yet. Doesn't mean it has been announced. It's just that I have poor eyesight.
It's all good. It's all good. But what I do know is Mike McDaniel could be one of the hot candidates on the market this offseason, and everybody's been talking about how he's going to be a guy that's going to slip right into a coordinator role. I would not be shocked if Mike McDaniel actually has a couple of options as a head coach elsewhere, because you can look at his scenario in Miami and say, sure, you could be better. You could have been better. But you know what else? That organization could be better. The situation that they put you in when it comes to that roster, when it comes to that quarterback, could have been better.